left-wing media thinks that Trump's trade wars will ultimately cost more jobs and hurt the economy. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Yo, you have to watch all spectrums of the news. You can't just watch, right-wing news. You have to watch everything. So if you consider yourself a serious YouTube anchor, that's what I'm saying. If not just regular people out there. But anyway, so even though I know inflation is down and World War III is on pause and immigration is down and drug busts all over the country, MSNBC still found a way to tear down America's greatest president thus far, Donald Trump. Check out these remarks these MSNBC anchors made about the tariffs and how they're going to affect the economy in the future, all hypothetical. They used a clip from legendary Ronald Reagan to defend their narrative. It's actually a cool clip. That's why I wanted to play it for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get right to it.
Christine, let's talk about just the reaction to what we're seeing today, these retaliatory tariffs and the way that they're seemingly very targeted to specific areas and to specific products that are going to affect specific voters in this country.
And these are what trade wars
Alcohol.
do, right? Think about what happened today when you talk about, for example, a 200% tariff on wine. That's a reaction to a tariff. I mean, so it just starts to escalate and involve more, communities, more factories, more products, and it hurts people on, frankly, both sides. And that's what, markets today unsettled as well. Again, 3 weeks of sort of just understanding this is an escalating trade war without an off-ramp. People can't see an off-ramp quite yet. And they know what the president wants to do. He wants to return domestic production to what he sees as a pre-NAFTA, glory. But that will be very, very difficult and can take an awful lot of time. And this is a lot of experts say this isn't the way they would go about it in the first place.
There's also questions of whether that can even be achieved. You can even create a golden age for America by making us more nationalistic and by rehoming all these companies. Ben Shapiro was talking to his 7 Million podcast.
I like the term golden age. The golden and gilded age actually is about New York when they was having like a very cultural era in New York. Everybody was rich. There used to be a lot of operas and ballroom. Around that time, Joy Behar and Trumpito used to be friends. She actually went to his wedding during that. Hey, but that has nothing to do with this. Let me go to this.
Listeners saying that this doesn't make any sense. Every country that has attempted this has found themselves in worse economic shape. He mentioned China, he mentioned Russia, and there were a couple of others. There was this also from the New York Times today that I thought was really interesting. This is from David Sanger. This is on the previous tariffs that Donald Trump imposed in 2018. The raft of studies that followed showing that the country lost tens of thousands of jobs, upward of 75,000 jobs by one study in the industries that were dependent on steel and aluminum. So Donald Trump's talking about trying to bring jobs home. The last time he tried this, Catherine, he lost a lot of jobs.
That was during COVID, lady.
Yes, and that was foreseeable then. It is foreseeable again this time around because there are many more downstream jobs that are dependent on consumption of steel as inputs than there are jobs that are dependent on production of steel. Automakers, appliance makers, all sorts of other manufacturing firms, which Trump also claims to be supporting. Look, the best case scenario for tariffs, the best possible outcome, and I am well known as a tariff skeptic, is that, sure, we pay a little bit more for foreign products, but maybe we increase some manufacturing here and get a few thousand additional manufacturing jobs. But in order...
I think some people are just cool with just being in with that position in the world. Second, and then secondly, all of the scenarios that they are bringing up are hypothetical. Like in Trumpito imposed similar tariffs the last time he was in office, and because of COVID, we can't actually gauge how it affected the economy. Like period, because COVID. So come on.
For that very narrow outcome to materialize, you need to make sure that you are actually tariffing the right products and the right industries. Instead, we are tariffing things we don't make and raw materials we don't have. So if Trump is, let's say, tariffing energy from Canada, yes, we have plenty of energy here, but not enough to fulfill the needs that our industry needs and that our households and regular consumers need. The same thing with steel, the same thing with lumber. There are potash, which something I never needed to learn about until recently. It's a key ingredient to fertilizer that about 80 to 90% of the fertilizer or the potash that's used here in America by American farmers comes from Canada.
Yeah.
You can't just replace that. So nothing he is doing is actually making our industry more competitive. If anything, if he raises steel tariffs to 50% on Canada, as he has threatened, it would probably become cheaper to make cars anywhere else in the world besides the United States.
I have so many questions. I'm going to go with this simple one. Do the people in his administration not know what they're doing?
Well, that's a big question. I mean, they are singing from his songbook. I mean, they are now.
But Donald Trump is not an economist.
No, he's not an economist, but he has a worldview that he is absolutely 100% committed to, that tariffs are the 100% the cure to every problem that ails the United States right now, and he's going to use them. And so they are executing what Trump wants to do.
All right, let's talk about worldviews here, and I'm gonna take us back in time. Back to the 1980s.
This is the part. Check this out.
This is pretty cool. The one-time scion of the Republican Party, Ronald Reagan.
At first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
Yo, if I wanted to, I could twist Ronald Reagan's words around and make it seem like he supported BLM. As of right now, we're putting a 25% tariff on Canada. And their response is making a few of their alcoholic beverages not available. Ooh, taking alcohol from us. Canada has requested from the World Trade Organization to assist them. They saying that we are breaking trade rules. But yeah, do something about it, Canada. You can't do nothing about it. So, and then I don't know what the current China tariff was, but we raised that up 10%. I'm unsure what EU wanted to do. They had threatened to stop selling us their liquor and their blue jeans and their boats. But even when they threatened that, Trumpito just said, "I will put a 200% tariff on everything coming from Europe," and so they immediately shut that stuff up. Look, I haven't seen a product that I can't leave without being being threatened yet. So as of right now, as of always, I'm with Trumpito. Tell me who you with. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Until next time, peace.